Welcome, my name is Matt, aka RoadJedi88. We're getting into Star Wars, guys. We have heroes, mods, Jawa Scavenger. So the last couple Jawas mod characters, I have been finding myself a little in opposition against the recommendations. And to be fair, Jawas are not a character I think of using when I go up against a squad of powered up Night Sisters or Geonosians or Sith or Jedis. They're not exactly the characters I think of wanting to use in that situation. And maybe I'm undermining them. Maybe I'm underestimating them. But, I mean, I definitely did with a squad of Gungans a while back. So, I mean, it is possible some squads are underestimated. I'm not going to rule that out. But I'm also not going to rule out that some of these suggestions of these statistical odds on swgoh.gg that are being statistically recommended, or even legitimate statistics at all, because these are not exactly characters that most players are going to stop and think about wanting to use against the majority of what we go up against in this game. Probably at best certain events, probably at most. But Dastra and Jawa Scavaner are two Jawas I do find myself in agreement with. So I can alleviate myself from some debatable controversy, if possible. Jawa Scavenger. The in-game tips as well as the online did recommend speed and potency for Jawa Scavengers. They technically, in most cases, are revered as scavengers, and they very much are. I mean, that's their whole career objective. And they are seen just about anywhere. Almost every book, not every book, but almost, you can get a little sighting of a Jawa somewhere. And I heard a reactor a while back laughing about Jawas being stolen from, the idea of karma. But, in retrospect, the way I see it, it might actually be someone retaining what was originally theirs. Reconfiscating what was probably stolen from them in the first place. I mean, we're talking about a Jawa. But, anyways, Jawa Scavenger. Speed and potency is what's been recommended. He is a support character, and in many cases with support characters, this is actually kind of a good direction to try to go with, because you want him to be quick on his feet, and when he does attack, you want him to have some oomph and domination in his attacks when he does attack. He's not an attacker character. He's generally a leader. In this case, he's not a squad leader. He's not the head of a squad leader, but he can lead from inside the squad. He can back up the CO. He's kind of like the XO to the CO, if you think about it in that sense. Every squad has a commanding officer, but every commanding officer has an assisting commanding officer. And that is one approach you can think of when you come across a support character who is not positioned to be the head of a squad, but he's still a support character. He is still going to back up the decision making of the squad leader, and he's still going to back up what the other members of the squad are going to do. He's going to back them up. He's going to support them. So with that said, speed and potency is actually, the one time I'm coming across a Jawa character after Dastra. Dastra, I was in some agreement with his. The last two Jawas, no, I have not been. But maybe I'm overlooking something, because, let's be fair, these are not a squad that I, if at the front of my mind, think of to use against some highly powered character squads that we most of the time are going up against. Like Sith, Jedis, and Geonosians, or Night Sisters. I mean, they're not my first line of defense I think of to want to use. And they're not that strong in defense. They really aren't. And maybe that's where, because there's only just enough Jawas to squad up a squad, maybe that's where some of the mods recommendations is coming based on, is to make up the difference that the others are not going to be able to make up. In that sense, if that's the case, then I can understand that. But at the same time, why underutilize the sole purpose of a character's role, primary role purpose? Why underutilize it? You can cross-train them to be able to be just as efficient for another character role position or an element of it. But healers probably should be staying as healers. Attackers probably need to be staying attackers. That's just my line of thought. A tank can help kind of back up a healer, given what a tank is designed to do. And it can also help back up what an attacker is capable of doing, given the other aspect of what a tank is capable of doing. A support character can go both ways as well. Really, a support character can kind of cover all three other bases, in some sense. He's not going to be the doctor of the squad, but he can definitely back up the healer. But he has an obligation to protect the squad, so he can learn from the tank side of things of how to protect the squad. And because they're going to be attacked, he needs to be able to know how to fight, support the squad, and lead them in the fighting. So there's elements of attackers he can tap into. The support is probably almost a universal character role that you can mod around more effectively than any other character roles. The other character roles, they might be able to tap into one or two of the other character roles, but in some cases, like the healer, I would want to keep my healer purely for healing. That's just my line of thought on that. And my attacker, who else is going to be able to thin down the opponents when everyone else is busy protecting and leading? You know, it's just a thought. It is a line of thought to think of, to take into consideration. You can go to my first video in my mods playlist on my YouTube channel, where I definitively break down, by definition, what each character role means, what their purpose is, and I break down by definition what each type of mod is designed to do, and what it is we are doing when we apply those mods to these characters. And we're basically either enhancing their abilities, or more so cross-training them from the original job purpose to be able to tap into another aspect, another character role's objective in the squad. Be able to tap into it a little bit, be able to cross-train some. That's essentially what we're doing with these mods. But speed and potency is a good one, I think, for Jawa Scavaner as a support character. This one I am in agreement with. So that's Jawa Scavener's mods for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. You can subscribe to my channel, like the videos, comments, questions, suggestions down below. And thank you for following. May the Force be with you.